Good morning, everybody, or good evening, depending on what time zone you're in and what you want to watch. My name's Linda, and I've been putting up a couple of videos for the last couple of days, just in kind of response to what's happening globally around our isolation, our COVID-19 pandemic response alert, and just taking the food that I've currently got in my cupboards and trying to demonstrate really, really easy recipes that you can do with just what's in your store cupboard. I have a really easy recipe today. As you may not know, this is a pasta maker. It is sitting here just kind of on the edge. I've got a little screw there that keeps it there, but it keeps on kind of wibbly wobbly. So we are going to make pasta. We are going to make fresh pasta. It is so incredibly easy. I know, and and the thing is that you get a little bit peeved off because lots of people online going, oh, this is really easy, and it's not. It's really difficult, but this actually is really, really easy. I make fresh pasta quite a lot. I used to make fresh pasta a lot, not so much now, but I probably will be now if I can get some flour. But so difficult. Went to the supermarket this morning, no flour. So then I went to the gym, had a good workout, saw a friend at the gym, social distancing, and then came home and thought, you know what, I'm going to have a shower. I'm super hungry. I'm going to make some fresh pasta. I'm going to film it. Then the next video is actually going to be with me making a dish with the pasta. And that I've just got my brother's dogs just there knocking on the door. Okay, there's only 4 things that you need in pasta. It is flour, salt, eggs, and olive oil. Okay, now the pasta flour that is used is like 000, 00 pasta flour. So this flour, I don't have a lot of it left, so I think I've probably just got a cup left in that. So this is half the recipe, and you'll find out why I'm doing that shortly. And my little doggy is outside dying to get in, and I'm not letting him inside, because I'm filming. Okay, so this is the flour that you use for making pasta, and it's really, 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 really fine, absolutely fine. And you'll get it in any kind of Mediterranean food store. You can use normal flour, but it just won't be as good. So, and I already have this in my store cupboard because I already make pasta. Okay, so I'm only using a cup of this. So you double the recipe. And I'm putting it on here. I could do it in a bowl, but it actually just looks super cool when you do it this way. Okay, so we've got a cup of flour. Then we have half a teaspoon of salt. My hands are washed, darlings. The only people who are going to eat this pasta is me. Okay, I put a little. And then we have half a tablespoon of olive oil and then 2 eggs. However, I've made some beforehand and the 2 eggs are a little bit too much. So I'm just going to go with 1 egg and a tablespoon of olive oil. So we put that in the middle. You can do this in a bowl, so don't worry about it. Don't think that you're going to have to mess this up. You can do whatever you want. You can do it in a bowl. It's fine. But this just looks really dramatic, and I like attention, so that's why we're doing it this way. And then we put a tablespoon of olive oil. That's in there. So I used to watch Jamie Oliver and watch him do this, and well, fell in love with him anyway because he's gorgeous. And I used to do it his way because this is how he does it. Okay, so what you do is you're kind of breaking this up and you're slowly incorporating the flour. I mean, this is not for everybody, and not everybody's going to want to do this, and not everybody's going to enjoy it, but I really do because I just have an absolute love of cooking, and this for me is a real form of relaxation. It is You can use normal flour if you want to. You don't need to have a pasta maker because you can just use your rolling pin. You know, it doesn't matter. So what you're doing is you're slowly incorporating what's happening around there. So you're bringing it together. Okay, and if we need more flour, I've got actual flour. I know people, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, go, oh my Lord, that looks like an absolute mess. And it does. But it's my mess. This is something that you can do with the children as well if you want. If it's not going to drive you crazy cooking with them. If the mess isn't going to make you go a little bit kind of balmy, enjoy it, feel free. I mean, you know, we could end up having to be homeschooling our children, so this could be a real thing. Have I made this with my children? Don't think I have. Don't think I had the patience, if I'm honest. But we have made bread together. Okay, so look at this. This is kind of like a bit of a crumbly mess. So what you want to do now is you want to bring it together and we're going to make it into a dough. So we're going to do the one, I've actually made one before and it's a little bit wet and this is a little bit crumbly. So we kind of like, I'm a little bit between a rock and a hard place at the moment. So I'm going to get just a tiny bit of water. Sorry if you didn't hear me, I'm just going to have a tiny bit of water. This won't be as rich as the other pasta that I made because I put 2 eggs in there. So I'm kind of thinking now maybe my decision only to put 1 egg in there was a little bit, you know, maybe we did need to have a little. Or maybe, Linda, you just need to knead properly. You know, we've got so much happening at the moment with the pandemic, that the response, and being in New Zealand, you know, everything's starting to get locked down now. So, you know, people are panic buying and people are social distancing, and I think right now it's so important that we are really kind to each other. You know, we a little bit of compassion goes a long way right now, because this is really scary for a lot of people. And the interventions that have been put in place by the New Zealand government is not to stop the pandemic, because the pandemic is here. A pandemic and what it is about something that spreads globally. It is about containing it and then just having little waves of infection so our medical professionals can cope with that. It is really super important that we're looking after our most vulnerable. You know, I mean, people may want to feel that they're not being looked after, but you know, there's people that have just lost their jobs. You know, there's lots of people out there that now have to find alternative ways of making money. It's really, really difficult. So there's beneficiaries out there that are the most vulnerable, and they are, because you know, they may have compromised immune systems. You know, they may not have a good diet because of the, you know, it's expensive to live. So, you know, what I'm saying is that be kind. You know, don't think that everybody's got it better than you, because you know what? The struggle is real for everyone. For me, my children will be back next week. Just going to move this because this is, okay, what I end up having one boob that hangs out and it's kind of lopsided. So, you know, I'm by myself at the moment, which means that I'm not actually eating that much. So I have to make sure that we've got food. And you know, and I haven't gone out and I haven't stockpiled food at all. But the great thing is I know how to cook. And I can make something out of virtually anything that you throw at me. So what we're doing now is we're just kneading this. So this is kind of manipulating the gluten that's actually in the flour. And so so what we have here is we have flour, we have eggs, we have olive oil and salt. So this is a little bit like when you're making a pastry. You have to let it sit for at least half an hour. So what that'll do is that'll relax everything. So it just makes it easier to roll out and to manipulate. So we're going to put it in a plastic bag, and we're just going to let it. This is one I made earlier. So we're just going to put it in a plastic bag, and I'm probably going to put this in the fridge because I won't make this up today. And we're going to let it relax. But if you want to have this pasta, as soon as you've made it, just put it in a plastic bag, leave it somewhere warm for about half an hour. So what I can do is I'll just show you what it looks like. And all you nonnas out there, you know, that make your pasta a certain way, you know, I'm not trying to disrespect, but this is what I've done. And it is drier than the batch I made before. And I am putting that down to the fact that I didn't put 2 eggs in there, I only put 1 egg. And I put instead of half a tablespoon of olive oil, I put a full tablespoon. And then I put some water in there as well. Okay, so that should relax. You come see me half an hour, baby. So what we have in here, and you'll get and you'll get what I'm saying about how wet that was. So I had already made a batch before, because everything I do, guys, we want to do it in the quickest possible manner because I can't edit. So we're on 12 minutes now. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to come up to the camera. I've got some flour on there because it was quite a wet pasta. And then I'll just show you, so if you have a look inside. So at this point is when you would roll it out. What I'd love, and I think I'm going to go make it myself, is one of those long Italian rolling pins. So I really want to get one of those. So I'm just rolling it out. Now, what a lot of nonnas will do is that they do not use a pasta machine at all, and they will roll it out to its suitable length. And here, with my pasta maker, you've got 3 different settings. So this is the one where you're making the flat sheets, and you can use that for, I'm just going to move me around because my boobies stick out. And that's what you use for your lasagna. And this is actually what you use as the base before you're about to do any of your rolling. Then we have a fettuccine, which is thicker, and then we have the spaghetti. Okay, this sits in here, and you just put it in. So we want to try and keep it as uniform as possible. What I might do, oops. Just cut that again, and you just put it through your pasta machine, and then you just change the setting so it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, well, you know, thinner and thinner and thinner. And I kind of put it through the same roller twice. And you just keep on taking it down, just down a notch. Gee, I'm just gonna. And there are other ways that people do this. I'm not Italian. I haven't been brought up making pasta. I taught myself how to do this. I bought my pasta machine from a secondhand shop, and I just really love the whole process of making that. So see, as you can see, this is probably, I get it a little bit thinner, or maybe just this for, if I was gonna use it for my lasagna. And now I'm gonna take it to its thinnest one. One thing you don't ever do with pasta makers, do not wash them, okay? Wipe them, dust them clean, but do not wash them. Do not submerge these things in water, they will rust. And this is at the desired length now. Okay, so just imagine this, guys. This came from flour, egg, salt, and oil. What I'm doing is I'm cutting it quite short, and let's make some spaghetti. So you pull this out, and this is my spaghetti, right? And so that is actually quite thin. Maybe I might not do it that so thin, because it's kind of like angel hair pasta now. Cooking pasta, this will take not even a minute because it's so fine. Okay, just remember that, guys. When you're cooking it, it's not like cooking dry pasta where you're cooking it up to, could even be, well, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes, or depending on what it is. And I've just put that in flour. The other thing you can do with that is that, so this is the other one that I made, so there's quite a big difference because I use, is that you can also use it, you hang it on something and you can dry it straight. Okay, so look at that. I'm going to cook this shortly, and I'm going to make a meal with what I've got in my store cupboard. Haha. And I'm super hungry, so I need to have this. So I'm going to put this through again. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to dry this on a rack. This is an old wine, you know, kind of thing, stand that I bought from a second-hand shop. It's really, really good for drying pasta on. Oops. So it's really easy for drying pasta. So yeah, pasta making, guys, super duper 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 easy. And you've got, well, hopefully this in your store cabinet, you've got the ingredients that you need anyway. I know this is super close up, so now I'm going to say goodbye, bye-bye.